Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms, please reach out to me directly. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a limited edition of 25 pieces in titanium and black platinum that came out for the 2018 model year. This is the Urwerk UR-210 black platinum, also known as the Royal Hawk. This watch, part of the 210 series that originally came out back in 2010. It's actually a model that's part of the succession of retrograding satellite hours that dates back to 2007's manual wind UR210. So this is part of this continuity started in 2007 with the 201. That's where this watch comes from chronologically. So it is massive, being mostly platinum and blackened. It is 43.8 millimeters from side to side. That's the width. The thickness of the watch at its thickest point is 16.5 millimeters. And then from the crown to the opposite lip of the end of the case, total distance across the wrist is 53 millimeters. Now you can see I want to be totally open about the condition of this pre-owned watch. This one was loved and worn, and you can see evidence of discoloration where the blackened coating has worn off the platinum, and it has worn off the platinum in a sort of burnishing fashion along the hard touch points across the upper rim of the case. So it is not a showroom model. I would rate it as an 8.5 out of 10, with most of the marks of wear being across the top flange of the case. Again, now on my wrist, 16 centimeters circumference. You can see it's large, but because the pivot points of the lugs are sort of underslung beneath the case, it doesn't wear as broad as you might think. In fact, I'll give you, every once in a while I add a different fourth shot. I do my cuff shot, my down the barrel, and my over the top, but this is the distance shot, which is designed to give you a sense of a watch in proportion to my actual hand and arm, both of which are probably a little bit bigger than you think. I would wear this. I think you can wear this on a wrist of 16 centimeters circumference like mine or larger. Now we'll get close again, we'll do those other angles, and we'll take a look at the cuff shot. Yes, maybe some jackets, but probably not tight dress sleeves. Down the barrel, you can see that the pivot points of the strap are actually inboard of the edge of my wrist just. And then over the top, you can see that the case comes out to the edge of my wrist. It does fit, but again, this is why I say my size or larger, no smaller. The strap, a custom piece. Most Urwerk straps are full custom. You can't just get an off-the-shelf aftermarket strap and put it on your Urwerk. You can order aftermarket straps that are custom made, but the easiest way might just be to go through Urwerk. Here we have a combination of textile and black, monotone stitch, some bolstering to give it volume, screws and bars used to fix the strap on both sides. That is immensely reassuring on a watch this heavy and valuable. Spring bars are less reliable than this system, which is why I'm glad that Felix Baumgartner, founder and watchmaker, and Martin Fry, designer and founder, created the junction system you see here. So Felix Baumgartner of the AHCI, once the youngest AHCI member, he, along with Martin Fry, founded Urwerk in 1997, so they were one of the original independents. They supply these unconventional straps that match their unconventional designs. We have a little gusset that's been sewn in to prevent gouging. You can see that this is a brand new Urwerk factory strap, calfskin on the bottom. We have a matching Urwerk blackened pin buckle, and you can see it's a combination of polished black and then media blasted black for a subtle contrast with the black on black. The case is something that Urwerk has done for a long time, really since the beginning. A quirky tradition by Urwerk has been that its most exclusive watches are blackened platinum. Now, some folks might ask, why would you plate platinum or coat platinum or PVD or DLC platinum? The answer is it's super stealth wealth. It looks like it might just be blackened steel or titanium or even ceramic, but on the wrist you can feel it's platinum. That's unmistakable. It's the rest of the world that remains ignorant, or at the very least guessing. We have striations across the top of the case and impressive facets and recesses all the way around. We have a fully revealed satellite system, so we have a combination of carousels and wheels. Urwerk uses a Zenith Elite automatic base and then on top they build their own proprietary module. There is a winding efficiency system that lets you know whether the winding is keeping up with the power demand. So as long as it's in the green, the watch is winding more energy than it's using. As it starts moving towards the red, that means the watch is winding relatively less in comparison to the amount of energy used. There's a power reserve indicator over on the opposite side. That gives you a sense of how much of the 39-hour power reserve is currently intact. When you combine the Zenith Elite automatic base with the Urwerk module, you get 51 pivot joules, and the base plate of the Urwerk module, which you can see has engine turning or perlage below it, that is RCAP 40, which is an anti-magnetic lightweight alloy. The carousel itself here is made of titanium grade 5, and so are the screws that are used. And then the wheels themselves, the satellites I should say, are made of aluminum. So a couple of different materials used here. Let me show you the loom. A lot of Urwerk models are elaborately loomed. This is not actually one of them. Although the scales are luminescent and you can, to a degree, see the movement of the satellites, the only really bright elements are the end of the minute scale, the winding efficiency system, and the power reserve indicator. In the light, it's a lot easier to grasp. You can see this sapphire is highly proprietary, and despite its many contours and unconventional form, the watch is still the dress watch standard of 30 meters water resistant. The 201 debuted this system where you have an index, but also a snapping system, a retrograde and satellite hours. So the way you read this is you look at the hour adjacent to the minute scale, so 10, then you look at what it's pointing at, 30. So you're looking at 10:30 right there. Now you're looking at 10:35. The outgoing hour exits stage left. The incoming hour, watch this now, watch the index. It comes on stage right, and you have that retrograde action. This system evolved the original 1997 Urwerk satellite hours, and that came out on the 2007 UR210. That's where that comes from. The satellite hours, actually in the modern era, comes from Audemars Piguet with its star wheel of 1991, and then long before that, the wandering hours clock combination from the Renaissance. So this is based on Maltese cross systems, which are a lot more durable than the star wheel used by Audemars Piguet. You can also see several different colors, textures, tones, and materials are used here. The finishing is very traditional, but it gets lost in the Terminator style of the watch. Make no mistake, real work went into making these pieces beautiful, not just techie. If you look, you can see at the center of the satellite, underneath my finger, there is a marine chronometer style cylindrical hairspring that underpins the retrograde system, so a lot of cool detailing here. On the reverse side, we have something that's fairly rare in the world of automatic watches, which is a system that allows you to control the winding efficiency. So keeping track of whether you're gaining or losing energy via the winding efficiency gauge, which is patented, by the way. If it looks like you're losing too much, then you might want to make the system, which uses pneumatic turbines, a little bit freer winding. So let me show you how that works. See this little index? I'm turning it from stop. Now you saw the turbine started to spin, to reduced. So this means that I have some winding efficiency, but by closing off the pneumatic paths, I wind relatively less. So these little pneumatic turbines will allow the watch to wind, but it's not going to wear out the winding system if I'm very vigorous and active. Now, if I'm super active and it's being impulsed violently or shocked on the wrist, I'm going to stop the system. If, however, I'm Team Mosso and I work in an office, I'm going to set this system to full winding efficiency so that the turbines move very freely and wind vigorously. And again, this is a Zenith Elite automatic base, so the base caliber is a very tough, reliable, thin, fine, and accurate tractor caliber. And the combination of the Urwerk module and the Zenith Elite base is known as the UR210. That's what they call this movement. This is a really cool watch. Urwerk is one of the most innovative modern independents, one of the few doing stuff that you can generally say hasn't been done 100 times before in the industry. And I will say, although the watch does not have a seconds display, it does retain the Elite's underlying hacking seconds system, so stopping the balance, you could theoretically stop the watch if you wish to do that for some reason. This watch is simply packed with tech. Really cool, and with a few small marks, this is one you can wear without too much concern. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.